All good. Go on, Dan. Do you want to start us off?
Good evening, guys. Welcome to yet another episode of Drop the Clutch. We're joined with Ruth, as always. Dylan's coming as a co-host, and today's guest is going to absolutely revolutionise Speedway in the future with the e-racing. Mr. Paul Bowen, how are we, mate?
I'm good, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure, never a chore with you, mate.
Grateful to have you.
So,
right, Dan, did you want to do the rundown of the meetings from the past week, and then we'll jump into a bit of a conversation?
So some meetings got rained off, some teams won, and some teams lost, and some Aussie chap won a meeting at Bellevue last night. that about sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, I think the first meeting we had of the weekend was Mildenhall Kent.
It was.
With them winning 53-37, something like that. Same score at Redcar Berwick, and then Wolves absolutely murdered Kings Lynn last night. So, yeah.
Dylan, you said you had a couple of comments on that match. Would you like to?
Yeah, I've saw some interesting comments about that match. Actually, like a lot of gate and go on Speedway updates, but it was actually the best I've seen the Wolves track for a long time. I think Alex Brady's team managing leaves a little bit to be desired, and some of his tactical decisions. But yeah, I think it was a good meeting, to be honest. And apart from Leon, he could tell he was feeling the effects from sticking it down the Redcar Straight on Sunday.
That's good. Have you got any comments about the weekend's meetings, Paul?
Well, obviously, I was there at the Peter Craven last night. Fantastic meeting. 6-rider final is just something to be amazed at. You just don't know where to put your eyeballs. Even the 5-rider semi-final, the last chance qualifier was absolutely. Just adding one rider was like flipping out. It's something totally new that I've not seen, and then to have the 6 in there at the end was and it was just so dicey. Tom Brennan was dicing in the last chance qualifier, 2 wheels off the air, and then in the final you had Dan Bewley and Robert Lambert absolutely going for it. 2 GP stars in Manchester, in the UK. What more can you ask for?
It sounded a good night, actually, for what I saw on the updates. I didn't get a chance to see it, but it's definitely worth buying then, yeah?
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's well, to be fair, they've shown the final on Facebook, I think it is. So that's free. So, yeah, go and watch that. It's mega.
Sweet.
I might have a look at that. Yeah, all right. So I've got some questions for you. So I'm going to jump right in. How did you get into Speedway originally?
Me, I just basically I was watching it on Eurosport at Christmas. I'd sold my road bike. I used to race a bit of road racing. I had a bit of money burning all in my pocket, and I thought, oh, this Speedway looks good. So after just having a look on eBay, put a post out saying, oh, has anyone got a Speedway bike for around £2,000? And it was funny how many people had a Speedway bike just for exactly £2,000. And it was, and I ended up buying Nathan Stoneman's X-Bike, and just turned up at a meeting and went from there.
Nice. I know you ride for the Bellevue Colts, but do you support any teams in particular?
It would have had to have been Workington. I used to, especially when I was learning, I went up to the old north side, and through that I ended up going to Workington. And to be honest, Workington was for me, even at age, I think 25, 26, that was my first Speedway meeting to watch properly, like a professional league. And so, I've got a lot of fond memories at Workington. It's a shame it's gone, obviously. But that's probably my next best club. Obviously, I'm not going to support them this year because we're in the same league, and I'm going to have to beat them, aren't I?
So. What do you think of the Colts team this year?
They always put together a good team. Manchester, obviously, Jack Smith, he's mega around there. James Pearson will be fantastic to see. Young Freddie Holder's coming on a bit. Sam Hagan, he's still a young lad. He's coming through, and it's great that there's like me and Luke Muff that I don't feel as old with him being in there. And he's a character. He's a big character. But yeah, no, I think it's quite. I don't think we're the strongest team in the world. I'll hold my hands up and say I don't think we're the strongest team, but I think we'll keep it close. I think when we go to Mildenhall, I think we'll keep it a little bit closer than what Kent did.
Fair play. Well, what's your opinion on the future of Speedway in this country? Oh, that's a bit of a doozy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Straight in there with the big guns.
Yeah. When you say the future, in how long are you saying the future for? Because there's a couple of years versus 10 years. What would you say is the future on that?
10 years,
10?
maybe?
Yeah. So in 10 years, there'll be 100 more nails in the coffin, and there will be no Speedway. No. I think I would like to think it would be potentially move to the electric, which is what I'm obviously, a big advocate for. In 10 years, the petrol engines will be banned. Whether people want to kick and scream all day long, it's in 2030. Is it 2030 or 2035? They're banning the use of petrol. Not banning the use of petrol, but banning the use of cars. And obviously it'll filter down into maybe competition, and in which case as well there'll be a lot of new technology out there. So if Speedway can go with the technology and stuff like that, I think hopefully it will survive. If there's if there's a bike that comes out that runs on water, then muzzles off. But at the moment, people are saying about hydrogen, people are saying about synthetic fuels, people are saying this, that, flux capacitor. Until there's something out there that is ready to go at the moment, I think it would be electric.
Sounds good. Has anybody else
And
got any questions?
Obviously, on the subject of electric, it's come under quite a lot of criticism I've seen, like on your own post. I think like we're both in the same mindset. Obviously, we've seen it, and I think the message to the people would be don't knock it till you've tried it.
Exactly that, and I think if you have a look at all the comments, I would basically say 90% of them people over say 40, and judging from you guys, you probably don't see that big of an issue with the electric. If not, think it's quite a good thing. And I think what people really need to remember is people under 30 or even kids now that are 10 years old that look at the electric bike and think, yeah, that's great, which we had that. Daniel backed me up. All the kids love the electric bikes. Then kids become adults one day. So if in 10 years, say when that kid's 10, he's going to be 20. He's going to be an adult.
Yeah.
You now, Dan, you're 20,
25.
25, you're going to be 35. It's not going to be a big issue for you.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
And the 50, 60, 70-year-olds, unfortunately, I don't want to say it, you might be 6 foot under. Your opinion won't matter anyway, but it's the kids that decide how the future goes, not the current elders. So we'll see.
I mean, it's like you have a look at the meeting that we streamed. Actually, we had 2, was it, come from motocross, so they just took to it like a duck to water as well. So they seem quite easy to ride.
Yeah, we have Leah Evans on motocross and Olivia Reynolds as well. Both girls as well. They beat all the boys for the first time on the Speedway. They beat, I think, we ended up coming 2nd and 3rd in the end. But considering that was the first go at Speedway, to come 2nd and 3rd in that class, I think is a major achievement, and it just shows what potentials we've got in female racers or any of the racers really to come in. And it might be a great opportunity for kids like that to go, you know what, I'm going to give Speedway a go. if they end up getting into it, who knows? For now, they might jump on a 500cc, and we've got more riders. But it's just about opening it up really to more people.
And
Is
just
it cheaper than regular speedway bikes?
At the moment, you've got to remember there's no second-hand market. So as a point is when people say, "Oh, you know, is it cheaper?" Well, is it cheaper than you can go out? I've seen it at the moment. You can buy a kid's engine for £5,000 to £10,000, race ready, right? Yes, it's cheaper than that. Is it cheaper than a £300 Chinese engine that's unreliable, you know what I mean, that's been made in the back of a shed? No, it's not cheaper than that. But what it does do is it consistently will outperform the maintenance of a normal engine. So there's no oil changes, there's no piston changes, no carb cleans, no air filters, gearboxes, flywheels, all them moving components that break and cost people money. It gets rid of that. These engines are probably looking to be around the £4,500, £5,000 mark. And I've had a guy that said, his engines are £2,000. And I said, "Have you blown anyone up?" And he went, "Yeah, we have." And I went, "Well, you're there already, aren't you?" So, it's horses for courses. It's not cheap. But I think once there's a second-hand market and people have got more availability, I think it will be cheaper. And it's certainly cheaper if you do it over, say, a 2-year period.
And I believe Robert Scunny says he's going to buy a load of e-bikes as well to let more people have a go. Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I suppose to be honest, Rob really surprised me that weekend. It's always been hard with Rob because it's always what you read and what you hear. And I didn't really want to make my mind up on the guy, but I can't remember. He might have upset me a long time ago. But you know what? I read the article in the Speedway Star, and basically it just kind of says that he does a thankless task, which he does. And a lot of people criticise him for decisions that he doesn't actually make, but he has to come out and say them. And I read the article, and I got a lot more respect for Rob after reading that. And then when we had a discussion, because obviously I'm very keen for pushing these electric, and I was very on my high horse. He's like, "Look, Paul, calm down. Let's have a chat." And you know what? We had a great chat. A really good discussion about it. And he said, "Well, let's have a look at them. Let's have a proper discussion." So on the Saturday, on the test day, and he got to see the bikes in real life, and he got to have a look at them, and talking to the guys from Denmark and myself, and seeing the kids' faces, he was absolutely made up with them. And I think he could see the potential in these bikes, and I think that he as well is more than happy to sort of push this because. He's quite lucky, really, that Scunthorpe is, not in the middle of nowhere, but it's in a housing estate. But I've got the guys from Edinburgh really keen to get some of these electric bikes because they're backing onto houses. They can't run any training days. Now, you can imagine they can run them training days 5-6 days a week. And you're not going to know when the kids are going to have fun. And again, it's, more bike time, more fun.
And just touching on it, would this be something you'd like to see come into the FIM at some point, and them have an E-series going on as well to push it from their side of things?
Well, at the moment, I am pushing for a series. I'm in talks with. Good talks with RSCB. I personally think they can run alongside with the SCB4, which is why I'm calling the bike the SCB4, just so that it kind of relates to that. And again, it's another sticky point where the British youth kind of tripped itself up in my eyes because they brought out this 190. So does that mean everybody now has to sell their 125s to get a 190? How does that look? Do they let 190s ride with 125s? We've also got 150s here. The beauty of the electric is we can actually move the power to whichever cc they choose, because it's got the capabilities up to sort of 200cc, which is another thing this bike will last the kid from 6 years old up to nearly 16. So we can adjust that. So what they do, I'm not really too bothered, but they do need to make their mind up about what bike the youth are having.
Yeah, I agree.
British Speedway shooting itself in the foot. That's never happened before.
Oh.
Nah, it's unheard of.
Yeah, but
Another thing-
like I say, going back to that, I think this year they've made some good improvements, and I've spoke to Rob as well about the improvements, and obviously everyone saw my video of sort of criticising what's wrong with Speedway, and we talked a little bit about that, and you know what, I think they're starting to sit up and learn a bit. The old timers are slowly fading away. You do need that. Don't get me wrong. You do need that old timer experience within Speedway. You know, you can't just come in. For instance, us four couldn't just come in and say, right, tomorrow we're going to do this, because inevitably, you know what I mean, it would fall on its arse. But
Yeah.
you know, there's only a need for so much experience, and there kind of needs to be a bit of new blood in the SCB, and that's probably where I would see myself in a few years.
I'd like to see that. Paul
Paul
Bowen
Bowen
for
for chairman.
chairman. Yeah.
Me and Phil Morris.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sort of, you know, how, like testimonials and stuff. Now you get some of the uprights and stuff. Would it be something to push, you know, to get e-bikes, and could anyone literally jump on and have a go on it, or do you have to have some kind of experience within racing to?
I think you just need some form of bike experience.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? Other than that, it is the same as sort of a petrol bike. The beauty of these is, you know what I mean, you don't have anyone have to push you off. You don't have to worry about, you know, stalling it or anything like that. So they are easier to learn. And also, again, I mentioned about the fact that you can change the how the engine performs. If you've got someone that you're a little bit, he doesn't look so confident, you could turn the settings right down and then slowly turn them up as he gets better or she gets better, rather than just saying, oh, you know, here's a 150 or here's a 500. Good luck.
2 corners later and they're in the back of the ambulance.
Yeah. But there again, like, you know, people think that, you know, I'm against uprights or anything like that. Like, you've got to remember, like, the laydowns now are like what the electric bikes are. You know, I bet when the laydowns come in, all the rubbish. No, you don't need them. You'll never kill the uprights. And lo and behold, you know what I mean, you don't see any young riders riding an upright. Do you know what I mean? It's within that age. So I imagine sort of like your Charles Wrights now will be like, yo, you'll never catch me on a lay down on an electric, which you probably won't. And he'll probably in 20, 30 years be riding his GM engine. But there'll be no one at that point riding an upright. It'll have disappeared.
And it's kind of like
the retros.
it's kind of like progression, and it's like you had the upright era, and now you've got what you've got now, and then the next step will be the e-bike kind of thing. It's
Yes.
just, you need to progress as time progresses.
Yeah, that's what it just needs to progress. And again, people can say that, you know, oh, it should stick to its roots and stuff like that. You know, the model at the moment isn't working. You know, there's no beating around the bush. It's not working. The biggest problem Speedway faces right now is A, it's not popular enough to pop up stadiums, and B, the stadiums that it has got gets noise complaints, which stops other stadiums opening up. So basically, it's I'd say a good 50 to 80% of complaints will be a noise issue. So if we can get rid of that noise, you know, we're laughing. And not only that, like I said, everything will be going electric. F1's already hybrid now, and they've got the E-Series. They're already on about doing it with superbikes, go-karting, and all that lot. It depends if you want to be at the front of the change or one of the last. But bearing in mind, if you're one of the last, you might not be there.
You can see Dan thinking of something to say.
Yeah, that clock going.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, all right. But on to another thing that myself and Paul are massively involved in as well at the minute is Speedway streaming. Obviously, Paul, massive man on the BSN, probably the best guy out there for the job.
Thank you, mate.
You know, a lot of people obviously are criticising the streaming, but I think it's a good way forward because everybody else is streaming.
Well, see, there again, people are against streaming, but you know, I think maybe that could be the future, and there might not be that many people in the stadium, but there might be 100,000 people watching at home. At the end of the day, now, like, why are there no blockbusters? There's no blockbusters because people couldn't be asked going in the car and getting a DVD. They'd rather sit at home, get on Netflix, download. It's the same with Speedway. You know, it's 5 o'clock. I can't really be bothered driving to Scunthorpe. I've not got 80 quid or whatever. I'm going to sit here, 20 quid, me and the kids or me and the missus, and have a beer, and have a pizza, and I've done it all for £40. But it's still money coming back in the pot. But what you might do is you might generate more people to go, you know what, actually, rather than streaming, I'm going to go this time and go and watch it. And you're going to get more people into it. So I don't think you should fear streaming. Do you know what I mean? But what are you going to lose? You get. There's nothing to be lost in my mind. It's great, like I said, if you can have pubs in seats, but the reality is things are changing. And if people are happy to sit at home and stream it, you know what I mean? I don't ever watch a stream and go, oh, I could do it looking at the crowd. You don't care about the crowd, do you really? You care about what's in front of you. But if you get enough streams and maybe it'd be nice, like I say, we did the free one, didn't we, Dan? And, you know, the amount of people that watched it, you know, I think it's up to like 12, 13,000 people now. It's reached for free. If we can do the odd one or two and introduce people to Speedway, and then maybe get them down to the stadium. And then again, I just don't think streaming is nothing to fear. And I also think that, you know, I mean, we might as well do it because that's probably the way it's going to go. And I think, if I'm right in saying, Birmingham Speedway track survives on the Greyhounds from people in China watching the dogs.
Yeah, it does.
So what is the problem with me, you, and everybody else sitting at home watching it?
And the thing is, you kind of get more for your money with streams because if you're at the track, Heat 4 goes, you've got track grading, you stood there for 5-6 minutes, nothing. On a stream like BSN, you've got you or Haley or someone interviewing someone, you see stuff that you wouldn't see at the track.
Exactly that. And that just probably shows that like yourself goes, actually, I prefer a stream. Do you know what I mean? Because, again, like I said, people are changing now. You know, when we're not our granddads or dads that like to go and, you know what I mean, it was our regular thing. We're too busy, but we want more. We want to see more. But I still think you'll every now and again, correct me if I'm wrong, Dylan, you'll still go to a speedway just to get that feeling.
That's it, yeah. You can't get the smell or anything through the stream, can you? It's like with Sam's testimonial, I was going to go, but we never did in the end, but I could still watch it and get the atmosphere and stuff through that.
Yeah.
And it's a nice option to have. I do think, as well, we need to try and get the younger generation in as well. If that means streaming, then that means streaming. Because when I was at Wolves last night, 80 or 90% of it was elderly people, and it's like they ain't going to be there to prop it up for long. We have to get the kids in now whilst we can, otherwise. But something is stopping the younger people from coming in. Because, like, I know at Wolves we do kids under a certain age for free, and they're still not coming.
Yeah. Again, though, it may be down to the parents, or, you know, it's one of them. Kids have got to go free, but you got to entice the adults to come with them as well. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to keep the kids interested as well.
Yeah, it's like a whole package, isn't it? You need to advertise to the parents and get them to spend £40, say, to bring the kid in for free, and then like also entertain that kid so the kid goes, "Oh, Mum, can I come again?" Do you know what I mean? It is a difficult task.
That's why we've got the Cubs Club at Perry Bar. Oh, shameless plug.
Yeah.
And the centre green activities during the interval, because it keeps the kids involved and it keeps the kids coming back every week.
It does, yeah. And I think like Bellevue, they've got the like ball throw that they do on the line. Do you know what I mean? All the kids go to the line challenge, like you said. I've seen the one at Birmingham. I think Glasgow do a kids running race. And again, if you can just do little things that, like you said in the interval, where there's nothing going on, where, you know, little Timmy goes off and does a running race and wins a Glasgow t-shirt or a hat or anything. It doesn't have to be a lot. Do you know what I mean? Just something, or even one of the riders' merches or anything like that. It keeps them really into it, like you said, and they'll go, oh, can I go back? Can I go back? Because
They probably took it to school with them,
Yeah,
showing how, like, look, I got this at Speedway. Look, I go and do this during the week, like after school and stuff. Yeah.
And I think that's where having a good mascot comes. A mascot used to be a big thing in like they are in football. Like Bellevue are really lucky to have Chase the Ace, but no other club's got anyone like him.
No, I was going to say Chase is well up there.
If every club had somebody like that, I think you'd have a lot more kids in, you know, kind of intrigued and involved as well.
Yeah, like I say, it is. And they've all tried to copy Chase, haven't they? They've all tried to do something similar. But it is hard. Like, I don't think you have one at Scunthorpe, do you, Dan? Do you have a mascot? No. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Like, you know,
I think we have
Sally the Scorpion. What, you know what I mean? What? It's not. It doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? Really?
No.
But if you could get something else, someone could think of something like that, it'd be, you know what I mean, it would be good. And like I say, Chase is probably the best.
I've never seen anyone like him as a mascot. But like Wolves have got one, and they've only just got him. They're looking like a wolf. He used to look like a drowned cat. They've got him into a wolf's costume, but he's a little bit bland. He just walks up and down, and it's like Chase will do all sorts of stuff to get people involved, and people notice that. And like, I showed my partner videos of when you had Chase at the shop, and he was doing bits there, and it's little things like that can push it out there.
Yeah, no, if we can get, even if we could just have a couple like Chase. Sorry to say, if you like the Burr at Birmingham, what is he? Berry the Burr? Just really creeps me out.
Did he make an appearance on BSN last season?
He did, yeah. Just a 6 foot Burr.
The guy who impersonates him, I'm breaking the fourth wall here, but the guy who impersonates him is an absolute git. He'll try and get away with anything. He tried to nick my phone last season. Just sat there at the club table, and I hadn't noticed because the phone was on the table, and he just walked off with my phone. And I was like, hang on, you've got my phone.
It's not fan power, is it? Because that's what will do anything.
No, I can't reveal her identity, unfortunately. I'm sworn to secrecy on that.
I'm sure Fab Power used to be the Cradley one back in the day.
You'll know if you'd have had a dress on.
But we talked about getting kids in. Like, one of my friends was at Wolves last night, and she's a diehard Cradley fan. And she took her son, who loved it that much. She ended up spending 25 quid on his little figures and stuff for him, and now he's a Wolves fan. And it's like, he loved it, and he was saying for like hours he wanted to go back. And it's like, if you can get every kid like that and parents willing to take them in like that, then Speedway would be in a better place. It's just, for whatever reason, something's not bringing people in like it used to. Because you look at the crowds years ago.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think part of the clubs are to blame for this. You know, I'm not being funny. Other than Bellevue, maybe who? Can you think of a nice stadium?
Sheffield to an extent, maybe.
It's tired.
Birmingham, the grandstand. But other than that,
I mean, they're all very tired. They're all 1980s. Do you know what I mean? Like, just simple things like, you know, not many of them have got a nice toilet. You know, like that's like Stoke was just you know, as much as I don't want to see a Speedway track shut down, like flipping out. I didn't know whether to put my boots on or off before I got in the changing room. Do you know what I mean? It was just dire, and it's a shame. But you go out to Manchester or go out wherever you want for it. The busiest places are the places that look brand new or look like, you know what I mean? They look like something. Whereas the Speedway clubs, no one really put any money back into the stadium. No one decided, oh, we'll have a bar and we'll have a, and even now, just like people are that crazy on Instagram, aren't they? There's no like Instagrammable bits of the stadium that you'd go to. Do you know what I mean? Because they all look dire. And it's a shame. And I realise it costs a hell of a lot of money to put a new bar in or a new seated area in. But if each club put together and even if there was a person in charge that said, look, you've made £10,000 this year, or even if they have made it, they might not even make any, I don't know. But I think next year you should really focus on, getting some better toilets or making the place look a bit nicer and a bit more of a better feel, so that you'd want to go back because it's nice. Whereas I bet some of the people go to some of these tracks and go, oh yeah, I don't really want to go to the toilets though. I don't really want to.
Buxton comes to mind.
Buxton,
when we think of that.
Yeah, Buxton's toilet. Oh my God, more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, it's a shame. Like I say, it's a shame because, you get in that catch-22 where you've kind of not put the money back in. You're falling at the wayside, and you can't really afford to put money to do stuff up because you ain't got the money because you didn't spend it originally. But it doesn't but then again, to be fair, actually, it doesn't have to cost a lot. Like Leicester, Leicester's a prime example. I think that's a good standard stadium, and it hasn't had a lot of money on it. Do you know what I mean? The seating looks fairly clean and new. It's on breeze block. The toilets are quite nice. Do you know what I mean? It's got a park around it. The parking's no problem. I've not been to the bar. I can't comment about that. But it hasn't cost a lot of money to make it feel okay as a punter. Whereas I think there's a few stadiums out there that have fallen by the wayside because they haven't put the money back in and made it look nice.
And with Leicester as well, they've utilised what they've got. Like you see their social media posts about going down and doing a lick of paint, and just some supporters doing that. Get a couple of tins of paint. Supporters can pull their weight with doing that as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be brand new, everything. Just a lick of paint, make it look a little bit nicer, and it could change the entire dynamic of the place.
Yeah. The only thing with Leicester, and it's the same with Edinburgh, I don't know who the hell designed the pit area. Flipping out like back-to-back exhaust, and your eyes are streaming when you go and you do warm-up in that one.
Just touching on something slightly different for the minute. Premiership racing, I think, is probably the most exciting it's been for a while now. I just wanted to see what your thoughts were on Phil Morris coming in and taking on his job at doing that now, and will that have a positive effect for British Speedway as well?
I think he's going to upset a few people. I'm hoping he's going to upset a few people, actually. And again, I read his article, and he had some great points. Simple things as, he's sort of looking at it as a professional side and as if you was a first person watching it. And he was on about when you go in the pits and you've got 50-year-old Dave having a fag in corner. You've got, riders' misses just sat there looking pretty. You've got, a couple of the mechanics in flipping vests. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look like a professional outfit. You go to Formula One or you go to MotoGP or the SC or even the Speedway Grand Prix meetings. Everyone's in a uniform. Everyone's structured. They've got a nice pit area. It's very professional, whereas the Premiership really needs to be that professional setup. It needs to be Manchester United versus Man City. Here's the flipping teams. Do you know what I mean? This is the top level. Not has he just come from next door shed? Do you know what I mean? It's it needs to be more professional, and I'm hoping that Phil can do that. And they've got the riders to do it. I've not seen this many caliber of riders in Premiership for a long time, and I think we'd fallen lucky with the Russian and having Imel and Laguta in. Have we got Laguta? No, we ain't got Laguta. We've just got Imel. Do you know what I mean? And the way in which Poland's relaxed the rules, I think we're lucky to get who we've got, because I think previously we wouldn't have. So I think we're lucky in that respect. But while the sun shines, is it make hay while the sun shines or whatever it is? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, let's make it look more professional. We've got the professionals in, make it so that next year people think, bloody hell, yeah, this is speed. You know what I mean? This is top level speedway, which is, you've got to remember, that's what it is. It's top level speedway. It should be run like the Grand Prix because it's top level.
And just like, people have different opinions on this. What would you get at? Would you just stick with matching team Kevlars, or would you get the whole hog like Ipswich and have bike covers and everything up the
I don't really know, actually. I think it looks smart when they've got the bikes. You know what I mean? And again, it looks, I think if they want to be more uniform, then yeah, it does look like a team. The only problem is, to be fair, sometimes it's hard to then spot the rider because you don't know who's who.
Yeah.
But then that's what we wear helmet colours for. So there's pros and cons to that. But then at the same time, I think it looks, no offence to some of the people, but the colour choices are terrible. So then it does, you know what I mean? I think it would suit some of them to say, actually, yeah, will you put Ipswich's on? Yours are rubbish, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Regdar have got their Kevlar spot on this year, where they've let the riders keep some individuality in it whilst having the body colours of the team.
I think, to be fair, I was surprised that Glasgow's are rubbish this year.
Which last year as well.
Was it last year? See, I think they did it best. Was it the year before, where the suit could match your coat? So if they could do a Kevlar that looked like a coat that you'd go out in, do you know what I mean? Like if it was a smart enough, like you'd see people in a Man City shirt or a Man City coat, don't you, or whatever. It doesn't have to be like, blah, you know what I mean? Speedway, Glasgow, Scunthorpe, or whatever. It just needs to be really subtle, really smart, so that actually I'll buy that as a fan. Do you know what I mean? I think that would work better. And I thought it was Glasgow because they've got the Kappa sponsorship. Make it look like a Kappa jacket. Do you know what I mean?
Really lucky in that regard with having a very good clothing brand as their sponsor.
Yeah, and I don't understand why they don't use it to their advantage and do a decent jacket that looks a decent set of Kevlars.
I agree, because you get some clubs with club colours and they plaster it all over the merchandise, and then you're just like, really?
Yeah, you wouldn't go out and wear it.
Do you want to attract flies? It's like the Birmingham stuff from last year. I've still got the jacket in. That's literally like, you could see him coming from a mile away because it's bright red and yellow.
Yeah.
You're like,
you probably
wow.
wouldn't mind it if it wasn't so loud. Like, no offense to the Birmingham thing. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? You want to be like, oh, I'm Birmingham, and it might be one that you'd wear to the track, but you wouldn't wear it out. So maybe they could do two. Like, do you know what I mean? Just like, or that's an idea for all clubs. You know what I mean? You could do like the classic range where it's just, you know what I mean, black coat, little Birmingham thing, something that you go out, that you'd go out in it. Do you know what I mean? Or you'd go for a meal and people say, oh, what's that? Oh, it's, Birmingham Speedway. Or it might not necessarily be something that anyone ever spots. It might just be the fact that you like it, so you support the club. Not the fact that, it's a bit loud, that, but I'll buy it anyway. Do you know what I mean? Or like, because would you wear that jacket to work or anything like that, Ruth?
Considering I work for social services, possibly not. Possibly not. No.
No, I get what you're saying, though, because Godfrey's put his hand in his pocket and he's got us club merchandise, but it's not like it's not geeky merchandise as such. It's just sort of like cool casual stuff that you probably wear if you're down the pub playing darts and stuff. That's what Speedway needs, really. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, gone are the days. I mean, it was funny talking about like Workington. Do you know what I mean? I saw the old, like, I don't even remember Wolfsport, like Wolfsport jacket, like Workington Speedway. Do you know what I mean? And they're all wearing them same coats from like 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just looking at it thinking, I won't wear that, mate. I won't be seen dead in it. But that's it's not because there's nothing. Although it'd be kind of cool, it'd be like vintage now. But do you know what I mean? Like each year, you need to bring out merchandise that people will buy yearly and not have the same coat that they had 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
There's still a couple of them Wolfsport jackets floating around on the Birmingham terraces.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, come on, let's do you a favour. Let's support. Put that jacket down. You've had your money's worth out of that. Support the club and buy this decent one.
Buy the new one, part with some cash.
Yeah, and again, like I say, you can probably tell Rob Dan, like, the couple, there's probably 40% in clothing, maybe 50%. Do you know what I mean? You sell a few, if you can sell 100 jackets, it's probably $3,000 that you've made.
Easy.
So, it's not to be sniffed at. And as well, it's kind of a knock-on effect because the more people that wear the jackets and the more people that do it, people think, oh, bloody hell, I should buy a jacket. Or, do you know what I mean? And you kind of feel like part of it, or you feel like you have to wear something, be it a scarf, a coat, shorts, I don't know.
And I've noticed something as well this year more than recent years. A lot of riders are bringing out new merchandise for themselves. Like Tom Brennan's just got his range out. Jake Allen's had a complete change. And they're basic to the point of their colours without being too standout and too loud.
Yeah. That's why it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's like a lot of riders are just taking the initiative themselves rather than the clubs getting merchandise for that rider or whatever. Cradley used to sell knockoff Williamson, and in no money out of that whatsoever. It was like riders have started to take the initiative themselves, design some better stuff, and it's good. It's free promotion at the end of the day.
But like I said, it all adds up. If you've got 10 fans that buy a hat or whatever, that might buy you, your next few oils, or it might be your petrol money to go to the next meeting or whatever it is. And you're building a fan base, really.
On the subject of merch, can we expect to see some Paul Bowen merch out next season?
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm quite ready for Paul Bowen merch. I might do some Powered by Pies merch. And stuff like that, but a couple of people have asked me actually, and I just don't think I could see someone look at someone straight in the eye and have Paul Bowen on the rat or something like that. I just don't think I could do it.
At least you're honest.
YouTube channel this seat, like, will there be any vlogs from meetings or anything? Because I do watch your YouTube
yeah, I'm hoping to. I'm not going to have time this Friday, and to be fair, I kind of want to find my feet a little bit. So when I find my feet, I need to get permissions for GoPros and one thing or another. I'll certainly be vlogging a match because again, I think it would be quite a good one to vlog an actual race and show you probably what I see. Even like just in the pits and going around and all the little bits that come into a meeting that you might not see normally. I think it would be a good one to show, but I don't really want to do my first one and be like, yeah, guys, I scored 2 points. That's it. Do you know what I mean? You kind of want to have a good night or at least have some confidence in riding again.
What was the thing that brought you back into riding in the National League this year?
I kind of said to myself, I'd not retired. I just wasn't riding anymore. And again, it was because I just had a lot going on. And to be honest, if I was to be asked now, I'd probably say no because of how much stuff I've got going on. But at winter, when I was a bit bored and I'd been riding and one thing or another, a club got in touch and said, "Oh, you're thinking about coming back?" And I thought, "Yeah, actually, I am." Do you know what I mean? And I got revved up about it, and then now I'm thinking, flipping out, what have I done this for? So, but you know what? I really enjoy riding. My girlfriend says, my fiance says, she knows that I enjoy it, and I do enjoy it. And it was kind of hard doing BSN last year, just watching all the time and not having a go. And I do miss having a go. So I'm having a go.
You did a few.
All club offers coming, or did you put feelers out, or was it just if Ace at like Bellevue Colts came in, you'd go for them? Would you have gone for anyone else if they had come in?
Yeah, well, it was another team that asked me because I posted a picture up, and they were like, "Are you coming back or what?" And I was like, "Well, before I say yeah, I'll ring up Bellevue really just to sort of see, because I've spent, I've done 3 seasons with them, signed for 4, only done 3." And I've got a lot of loyalty there. I sponsor the club, which is not why I got in. I didn't pay to get in. You know what I mean? And it was for less money. It was for probably not as good deal, but I'm just very passionate about Bellevue. It's half an hour, 40 minutes from my house. And also, it's the safest track in the country. Touching wood, it's the safest track in the country. So when you can ride somewhere, 7 times, and know that you're not going to have is it going to be all right this week? Whereas like when you go to the places like, dare I say, Mildenhall, you don't know what you're getting week in, week out. You only had to look at last year's updates. And I'm sure out of the 7 meetings that they put in, there was a flipping person that got taken out. Everyone, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there was one meeting where someone survived unscathed. Might not necessarily be the track, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. There was one where there was 3 of them.
Jeez.
That's Becky suicidal. Scuddy looks safe as fuck.
They say a suicidal Scunny, but you know what? I think it's down to the fact that it gets rode so much. So it's if you ride a track, if there's 100 riders ride a track, one of them's going to crash. Whereas if there's a track where there's only 10 riders or 14 riders ride, it's going to take them 5 times as long to get that same statistic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the fact that you see these accidents at Scunthorpe is probably the fact that it's the most used speedway track in the country. So it's going to have accidents.
Yeah.
And the accidents that I've seen happen everywhere.
Yeah.
So, it maybe could become safer or whatever, but hey, if we're playing that game, we could put brakes on the bikes while we're at it.
I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are on, that fan power bloke puts so much out, and he says he's trying to save British Speedway. He started targeting Redcar for their lighting the other night. And it's like, does he just put things out when it comes to minding, do you think, or does he actually think about it first?
You know what is the I almost feel sorry for him. Because sometimes, besides all the rubbish that he does talk, there is a couple of good points that he comes out with every now and again. It's just how he constructs them. And he just does such a terrible job. And I really do wish for the guy that rather than focusing all his energy on all the stuff that's wrong, why doesn't he start focusing it on stuff that could fix it? Do you know what I mean? Like, he comes out with, this is dangerous, right? Well, what's the answer? I don't know, but it's dangerous. That's not good. Or what did he say about the red car? Did he say something about red car lighting?
Yeah, the light. He said that the lights look too dark, and it's like everyone from trackside, it's fine. He just didn't look great on the camera.
Yeah. Right, yeah. The lighting looks dark. You know what I think would work if they think about it next year? Maybe we could get some better lights. Do you know what I mean? I know for a fact that there's a bulb 8,000 out there, and I've done the research, and they're this much. And if you put them in, you'll get this. Do you know what I mean? It's all problems and no solutions with that guy, and that's what really frustrates me more about him than anything. And he comes out with a lot of rubbish, more rubbish than I've ever. He says that are facts or whatever they are, but he just doesn't come up with any solutions. And if he focused his energy on being positive, I think he could be all right at it. Do you know what I mean? If he focused on saying, you know what, rather than slagging off Scunthorpe, I'm actually going to promote for them for a few weeks. Oh my God, I've got a lot more respect. I've got a lot more people, divulging with me. He's got no respect. Whereas I feel if someone, say, Rob Godfrey, who's got respect, turn around to Redcar and say, look, Redcar, you're doing a good job, but I think your life wouldn't change you. You need to do this. I think they got, actually, Rob, you know what? You're right. We'll look at that. Whereas anything he says, he's no respect now, so he can't say anything. So he'd be better off focusing his energy on just being a better person, and I think he'd get a lot more sense. And it's a shame. I don't know the guy. I've never met him, but it's a shame that he can't put that passion that he's got and put it into something more constructive and be a better person.
Question is, would being positive kill him though? Because he's that angry.
Yeah, I think
every time I've come across him, would being positive actually kill him?
Yeah, I think that goes for a lot of Speedway fans in general.
Yeah, this is true.
But no, yeah, I'd happily have a discussion with a guy and put things to bed with him. And I think even what was a great thing to see, he put the posts on about suicidal Scunny, and I think it was Gail that was like, "Well, come down and have a talk then." And I still yet to believe he's been down.
He's supposedly coming down at some point this month, and he's wearing an armed camera so nothing happens to him.
Right.
Yeah, because he'll probably get lynched if he turns up at a speedway track.
No, well, I don't think anyone would lynch him, because I just don't think anyone just, like I said, he's gone past the point of respect, really. So you just, you know what I mean? Oh, that's that clown. Do you know what I mean? He's just, and it's a shame, because like I said, I'm sure he's a passionate guy, and he's trying to do it some way, but he's just doing it totally the wrong way.
Definitely. Well, it's 9 o'clock now. We've done the hour and a half. If it's all right with you guys, do you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, I've got a hungry fiance here. Someone who just got in, so she's
get her a pie.
Get her a pie.
Get her a pie. Shout out to Bowen Pies.
I love it, Dan. Thank you.
Right, okay. Well, that has been episode 13 of Drop the Clutch. Thanks to Paul for joining us, and thanks to Dylan again for joining us at such short notice as Nick had to go into work. It's bye from me. Bye. Everybody want to say bye?
See you later. Thank you very much.
Good night.